about best-selling author and probably one of the most requested speakers in the world, and has one of the most polarizing social medias that's going to get you to think about leveling up, think about exiting your business, and think about building it the right way the first time. Without further ado, my guy, Vusi. What's up, man?
We here.
Man, thank you for coming,
Finally.
bro. Yeah, finally, we here. Yeah. Kelly, thank you to Kelly and y'all team coordinating and making it happen, man. So, how you been, bro?
I mean, look, I should tell you, hang on to Kelly because she's persistent.
Yeah. Hey, listen, we gotta be. If you don't be, that's the only way we know, man. So yeah,
I appreciate
you coming in, man. We got a great general friend. I mean, Lamar raved about just how amazing you are and just a great businessman. How important is environment and the right connections?
Sure. I mean, you went right in there. So let's talk about environment first. My experience has been that if you don't change your environment is going to change you. And I think it's especially true today, right? Because there's certain businesses that you can't make happen unless you're in the right environment.
Yeah.
And so there's somebody watching this who's wondering why they're not succeeding, why they're not getting the results that they know they're capable of getting, and they think it's them. Sometimes that's the case, but my experience has been that often it's also you in the wrong environment. So if you're not in an environment that nurtures growth, that identifies opportunity, that partners with people, then you're going to immediately hit ceilings around what you're able to do. And you know, just if there's one thing you've got to do when it comes to being in the right environment, you have the right to be selfish.
Yeah.
Right. So when you feel called to do something, you feel called to greatness, you have to go to the place where that greatness is going to be able to make manifest. And not every place in the world can bring the best out of you.
Yeah, that's a fact. I tell people all the time, some of you are like a rose in the Dubai desert. It don't matter what you do, you won't grow because the environment isn't conducive to growth.
That's a fact.
Like you're not going to grow there.
That's a fact.
So I think I always tell people like your environment is going to make you or break you. It's critical.
I can tell you my own personal experience, because I know this because I've experienced it, is like you also have to be in an environment where wealth is allowed.
Yeah.
You have to be in an environment where wealth is encouraged. And that's not true for every environment. You know, there's some places where the minute you begin to do well, the people who know you will start to act different around you. They'll start talking about you behind your back. And those places are also very dangerous because those people tend to want to drag you down. Because misery loves company, right? And the thing about growth, the thing about greatness, the thing about pursuing your purpose is you have to make sure you're in the space where people around you don't see you being crazy as an outlier. You know, in fact, where they encourage it.
Yeah.
Where they look at you wanting to do big things and they say, that's not big enough. So your analogy about the rose in the Dubai desert, and I don't know how many people watching this, you know, I lived in Dubai. Yeah. I can tell you when that heat comes circa July,
it's over.
Man, it's next level.
Yeah. Bro, for some reason, and I don't know why, this was over 5-6 years ago. I went to Dubai during Ramadan in July.
Why'd you do that?
I didn't know.
Let me guess.
That's probably why the tickets were cheap.
I was about to say.
You know what happened?
That's a rookie era.
Man, I had no clue. Like, I'm like, yo, it was blistering.
Yes, sir.
You could cook a steak on a pride ground in a few minutes.
That's a fact.
I couldn't believe it.
You have to hop from building to building just in search of the aircon. And I think a lot of people don't understand that heat. It's like a swarm of bees attacking you at once. Yeah. It's the only way I can explain it. It's not just that it's hot. It's that it's hot, it's humid, and it assaults you. So you just step into the sun and you feel the heat everywhere. You inhale and your lungs heat up because that's all you're breathing in. It's just heat. Yeah. That Dubai heat, man, that Middle Eastern heat in the middle of the year, let me tell you, that'll get your mother-in-law to love you.
Hey, listen to me, bro. It was crazy. I literally could not believe it. Man, you spoke at, man, I went a few years ago. I went with a few buddies and I'm mad. I missed the meeting with Robert Smith or whatever. I was with my brothers, Earn Your Leisure, and I didn't have my hotel badge because I got there late. So I missed that meeting, which bothers me. But I went to the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland this particular year. I know you spoke there. And one of the things I know about them, they're always talking about just the future, what's next, right? What do you see? And I want to, it's two parts. So I went to Davos, but prior to that, we were in Ghana.
Right.
And that's when they told me, yo, you need to come with me to Davos. I'm like, bet, I'm there. And I met another gentleman, and I forgot his name, but he owns like an oil rig in the middle of the ocean. They said he's like a billionaire. I got to get you his name, but
Based in Ghana?
based in Ghana.
Right.
No, he's based in Nigeria.
Right.
And he said, listen, man, you could bump your head and build a multi-million-dollar business and do everything wrong in Africa. What do you believe is the next biggest thing in Africa right now? Because I know you're investing in emerging founders, you're investing in emerging businesses. Like AI is right now, probably for the foreseeable future. But what do you see 10 years from now that somebody need to really be looking into today?
That's a good question. So from an African perspective, and it's difficult to explain it for people who haven't been, but Africa still has very foundational things that we're solving. So I was in Ghana, for instance, before I came here. And 3 weeks ago, I was in Zimbabwe. And between Ghana and Zimbabwe, I was in 3 other countries. So I get to see Africa from the vantage point of the globe. And Africa still has like very simple, base issues we've got to solve. So we've got to solve agriculture at scale, delivered affordably into the household.
Yep.
We've got to solve building a middle class.
Yep.
And using financial services to drive middle class. So I think the lending rate here in the US is what, circa 4%, I think maybe you could borrow at the bank.
Depends.
I mean, there are countries in Africa where you're getting a corporate lending rate at 24%.
Wow.
By the time you're trying to build a home, you're getting it at 30%.
They give you APRs for credit cards.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And by the way, that's on asset-backed finance, right? So you're not even moving into personal loans.
Yeah.
So personal loans would be at usurious rates.
Yeah.
Electricity, we still got to solve the electricity problem. I've got this because we're busy raising an energy fund at the moment. I've got this graph that I look at that shows percentage access to electricity by African countries, and it's like the North African countries kind of have their act together. So Tunisia, Libya, Morocco, Egypt. South Africa, where I'm from, is an outlier. And then in the middle, particularly when you get to Central Africa, West Africa, in some of those countries, you have access to electricity rates lower than 20%. The reason I'm mentioning this is because when I come here, I hear people talking about very advanced industries, artificial intelligence, etc. And those are great. But where I'm from, it's just like, let's just get the basic stuff to work and work reliably. Right. And so, that's one of the changes we've had to make in the firm. We were like, well, where are the industries that are going to grow reliably and are going to grow into the foreseeable future? That's why Trump just did a deal with Rwanda and Congo, right? I mean, Congo is the wealthiest country in the world, bar none, when you consider the amount of minerals under the ground. They can mine the Congo for the next 300 years, and they still will not be able to take everything out of the land of Congo. It is an unbelievably wealthy country. But what does it need? It needs road, rail, infrastructure, ports, banks, housing for the middle class, reliable electricity. So when you are thinking about getting into Africa, you've got to be thinking about building, as I like to call it, real businesses for real people. Whereas here, it's a lot of like, I'm going to write an API, plug it into something. Yeah. We're going to help you double your revenues. Yeah. Where I'm from, it's build something real and the customers will come. But your friend was absolutely right. If you find the right industry, you'll sneeze and make money.
Yeah, and he said, I'm like, bro, he like, I got an oil rig in the middle of Nigeria that's just printing. I'm like, bro. He's like, you need to come over here. And I'm gonna be honest, I went, but they scared me. Like, it's so bad over here. Like, I'm like, yo, I'm like, let me get out of here. They make you seem like they gonna kill you. Or
you've said something about which I feel very passionately. That's why I spend so much of my time traveling the world, evangelizing Africa. Yeah. So I'm going to say 3 things very quickly. First, it should be a birthright, but a human responsibility for every black person or every person of African descent anywhere in the world to go to Africa. And if people don't remember anything else I say, this is really important, okay? Because what's been done in the world over the past 150 years is the black economy has been convinced that other black economies won't be like it. I was looking at the numbers the other day. The black economy in the US is $1.5 trillion. $1.5 trillion, I think, is the amount of money that makes its way around 800 billion or 1.5 trillion, one of these two. But it's a lot of money. Yeah. And in my mind, I'm going, where are all of these black people putting their money, right? The assets you could buy and the value you could get for those assets, if you took a little bit of that money and you were investing it into the continent, game changing.
Right.
And the difference is every dollar you invest in the continent, invested correctly, actually changes a life.
Facts.
Right? So, because unemployment rates are so high. You know, there are countries where the unemployment rates are so high that if you are opening a business and an establishment, the number of people who apply for that job is nowhere near what you would have imagined. Here, you can have a job out for a couple of weeks, and if people don't want it, they don't want it, right? So the point I make is you can make a real difference in Africa. I think that's the first point I want to make. The second point I want to make is this. I took the opportunity to be on your podcast because I understand the influence that you have, and I think it's really important for black people in the United States to know that Africa is not a dangerous place where you can't come, you can't travel, and you can't. Yep. Now, listen, everywhere in the world, there are people who are going to take a chance.
100%.
Okay, so what you want is to have reliable people, good partners that you can work with, who will make sure that that your interests are taken care of. So first, travel the continent. Yep. Necessary. Yep. And a couple of places you got to go. You got to go see the gorillas on the silverback gorillas in Rwanda.
I gotta go see. I just saw my homies do that.
You just
I just saw that.
Like Lewis Hamilton just went.
Yeah.
So you've got to go see you've got to go to the gorillas. If you go north, you've obviously got to go to the pyramids in Egypt.
Yep, did that.
Right.
Yep.
You have to go to the Atlantic seaboard, Cape Town.
Yep,
you have to see the beauty of kind of where the Pacific and the Atlantic connect down in Cape Town in South Africa. Yep. The reason it's called the Cape of Good Hope is because, when the Europeans which were traveling from Europe, coming to the Americas, they stopped right in the middle in Cape Town. And so you catch a lot of history of the world.
It's like when I went there, I saw heavily white Africans, they call it?
Oh, yeah.
Is that, yeah.
I mean, that's a big part of it. Cape Town is
Is that the European piece that you're referencing?
Yes.
Okay.
Cape Town also has a very complex history because it was the node into South Africa.
Yeah.
And in part the node into many parts of Southern Africa that Europeans kind of came through, right? So the first Dutch settler, Jan van Riebeeck, settles in Cape Town 1652. That's before the Gettysburg Address here. Yeah. It's before the Proclamation of Independence here. So Cape Town has had a very long, complex history. But you got to go to Cape Town. Yeah. You got to go to Cape Town. Yep. You've got to go to Namibia. Beautiful Namibia.
Say that part again.
Namibia.
Okay. Yeah, I got to check
Donald Trump called it Nambia.
Okay.
The Namibians were pissed.
Yeah. But Donald will say anything, bro.
I mean, look, I want to come back. I don't want my visa canceled. Yeah. So we love you, Donald. Yeah. But there's this beautiful place in Namibia called Swakopmund where you have the desert meeting the ocean. Yeah. And I don't think you see anything like this anywhere else in the world, bar maybe the Middle East or Dubai. So all of these are places that you have to travel. And what I say to people is just do one trip a year. Just one trip a year. Today from Delta, you can kind of fly anywhere.
Literally.
Get on a flight.
I think it's here straight to South Africa.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm on that flight every 6 weeks, right? Crazy. And listen, if you and I do nothing else after this, we have to be intentional about connecting the continent to the diaspora and the diaspora to the continent. Yeah. So I said to Lamar, I was like, dude, your event is amazing. Love it. Then he told me about what Rafael is doing in the UK. I said, Rafael, I'm coming. And then I said to him, but I've got two conditions. First condition is you make the stay comfortable. Second condition is you have to come to my part of the world. Yeah. Because if we can demystify it in our heads, man, it'll be a game changer.
We could get thousands of people over there.
It'd be a game changer. Your business, the services that you offer, the number of small and medium-sized businesses that need the help that you can offer.
Yeah.
I said the same thing to Lamar. I was like, man, you're doing well, but you've got to be able to come and offer this in our part of the world.
Yeah. Speaking of Africa, I got to ask you a question. So you met Nelson Mandela.
Yes.
Right. And you really share how that was he's one of the most influential leaders ever.
True
right?
story.
How did that moment shape your life? Like, what did you take from that to be the man you are today? Like, how was that experience? And I know you meet important people all the time, but that's like, it's a legend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
that's a good point.
Yeah.
So the first thing I would say is that, maybe once in a generation, there are some people who can change the laws of physics. Mandela was like this. Like, if he walked into the room, the temperature dropped by 1 or 2 degrees. Even if you didn't see him, you could just feel it. Like, oh, something just changed, right? He carried something special about him. But the second thing is, a lot of people talk about the amount of time he spent in prison. And I can recognize why that's something worth noting. But let me tell you what, for me, is the part about his life that really was like, wow, is that first, he was a lawyer before he gets arrested. So before he gives of his life into the struggle for the liberation of Black people in South Africa, he's a professional. At a time, a date, and an age when there weren't a lot of professionals going around who were of color, right? Because what the apartheid system was doing was it was implemented to keep as many Black people from progressing into their full potential as possible. It was an intentional system. So just stuff like the education system. There was a stream of education for Black people, a stream of education for, as they call them, non-whites, and then a stream of education for white people. And Madiba broke through all of that, becomes a lawyer. He feels the calling. He joins the political party, the ANC, and he begins to lead for the liberation of his people. Then he gets arrested. And I'll tell you an interesting story. So many years ago, I got to share the stage with a guy called George Bezos.
Who was related to Jeff?
He's not. He's not. But George was Nelson Mandela's lawyer.
Okay.
Right. So George tells me the story backstage. He says, they've tried the case now, and it's almost certain Nelson Mandela is going to get given the death penalty. Because again, that's a part of the story people don't know, right? The apartheid government had the death penalty. We don't have it in South Africa today, but they did, and they would kill people, right? And so for the crime that Madiba had committed, the statute said death penalty. And so they're sitting, and he's sitting with him and they're talking, and Madiba's like, I'm ready. I'm ready. Wow. And then they find him guilty. And they adjourn for sentencing. And in the period of adjourning for sentencing, as you know, before you get sentenced, you get asked, do you have anything last you want to say? And Madiba had written a speech about what he wanted to say. Wow. So George takes the speech and he reads it. And the speech says a few things, but it goes on to say, I have fought against Black domination and I've fought against white domination. I've cherished the idea of a free and fair South Africa for which all races can live. He says in the speech, it is an idea for which I hope to live, but if necessary, it is an idea for which I'm prepared to die. George Bezos tells the story. He says, when Mandela had written the speech, it said, it is an idea for which I hope to live. But my Lord, speaking to the judge, it is an idea for which I'm prepared to die. Wow. So George Bezos said, I asked him to add 3 words, but if needs be. And he said just adding those words changed the texture of the speech, because now he got to throw it back at the judge. Be like, yo, this is what I stand for. This is what I'm about. And I'm about it all the way. If you need to kill me, then so be it. Yeah. Right? And I tell you why for me that stands out. Most people love the idea of who they think they are. Most people. You see it a lot with entrepreneurs. You come up with an idea, a business, a deck. They start pitching it to one or two people, start trying to raise some money, start trying to do stuff until life happens. And when life happens, the person's true character shows. And for me, nothing symbolizes life happening more than you standing there, looking at a judge, knowing full well he might sentence you to death. That's life happening on the ultimate. And to stand there and still
stand on business.
Still stand on business.
That's crazy.
I'm like, nah, that for me, that's so I hear the 27 years, and I don't want to belittle it. 19 years on the island of Robben Island. I've been to his prison cell. 19 years on the island, 8 years, on a prison on mainland in South Africa. I get the quarter century spent in a prison. Yeah. I get the lost marriage. Yeah. Because a lot of us also don't talk about that. As a father, as a married man, listen, wild horses couldn't drag me away from my kids. Yeah. I don't know how you do it for 27 years. Yeah, it's wild. You have a little girl growing up, and she grows up to be a little girl, and then a teenager, and then a full woman. And you have a wife, and you have a boy, and the boy grows up to be a man. Like, how do you miss all that, right? Yeah. To stand on business and still not give up on your beliefs? Yeah. Man, I don't know about you, but that for me, that's the mark of the man's character. So what I hope to draw from that story is that when, not if, because none of us are immune from it. Yeah. When life happens to me, I've got to have the ability to stand on business. Yeah. Everybody is a superhero until life happens.
Yeah. And that's good. Speaking of that, right? And it's actually perfect for me. Speaking of that, in 2020, you talked about nearly going bankrupt. Mm-hmm. And I feel as though, of course, it's not Nelson Mandela. It's not, my dad did 32 years in prison. I didn't really want to go about your upbringing because we all know this story.
Did you just say your dad did 32 years in prison?
Yeah, for murdering somebody. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, yep. He died there about 6 years ago, probably.
Pause. Yeah. Rewind. Yeah. What?
Yeah, my dad. I'm from West Philly. It's
look. You must remember as a South African.
For us.
As a South African, when I hear West Philly, all I think about is West Philadelphia, born and raised on the playground.
True story. So true story. Me and Will Smith got some commonalities. So Will and I went to the same high school.
Wow.
We both got kicked out of the high school.
Wow.
Will and I both got a street named after us in West Philly. I got mine named first. He just got his.
Is that true?
Yeah, that's true. For the community work, we've now served probably over 1 million people through philanthropic efforts.
Incredible, man.
So the city named the street after me, the street that I grew up on.
Well done, bro.
So I appreciate that. So yeah, those are two little fun facts about Will and I. But yeah, so
hold on. I know this is the interview the other way, but I'm a conversationalist, so forgive me.
Oh, we're good.
How did what were the circumstances surrounding your dad murdering somebody?
Yeah. I don't know. My mom didn't quite tell me. My dad was like a gangster. Like he's selling, heroin, dope. My dad whole face was like, he's a chemist, cooking up drugs. So every time I saw, all his hands are all white, specked all over because the kitchen blew up that he was cooking up the dope in. So he says he didn't murder the person. Most people who do criminal things say they didn't do it.
Innocent,
so I don't know if it's true or not true, but he was a terrorist. From my end, he was about business. He didn't care. So, he got caught evidently and he died in prison. And that's why I tell a lot of these young men and young women, I'm like, especially you are one decision away from the life you want or the life you don't want.
It's a true story.
I'm preaching 32 years in prison. It's hard for me. I got everything I want in my house. It's hard for me to stay in my house for 2-3 days straight. I don't know how anybody opting into years and years in prison.
But so you don't have to answer this, but forgive me for asking.
Yeah.
So how did you learn to be a man if dad wasn't around?
Man, I think I'm still learning. I grew up with a stepfather that didn't really do a good job, so I didn't really learn nothing from him. But I'll say my mom and grandma, you saw my mom, she just left. They took such good care of me, man, where I don't got that upbringing where, oh, we weren't eating, no heat in the house. Like everything was good. Like I was just being the knucklehead on purpose. But they took such good care of me that I didn't even have a void that I missed my father. So
cool, man.
I am learning how to be a man now.
That's
like,
incredible.
I got mentors now that I call. What about this? What about, like, I'm learning now. I'm learning how to be a father right now from trial and error, from seeing, because I never had one that I could look up to that guided me.
So have you got boys?
I got one son. He's 2.
So you are having to.
Excuse me.
So it's kind of like you're learning to be a dad
100%.
while being a dad.
Literally learning. And
Man.
I've come to learn. So, I told you before I got married, my wife already had a daughter. She was 4 when I got in her life. We didn't get married for 6 years ago. It was our anniversary. And one of the reasons why I never really saw a successful marriage. A lot of where we from, they say, yo, go get when you get married, that's when you really get the chicks, bro. I'm like, huh? So you tell me I got, like, it was just weird how where I'm from, that's how so I say, yo, I'm not going to rush and get in this and not do it the right way. So I wanted to wait until I felt like it was the right time. But what I've come to learn, I was raising my daughter, my wife's daughter, which is my daughter. I don't think I did that great of a job. Like I was like, dang, I didn't really do great. Now, in retrospect, I realized I was teaching her, but she was learning a lot of these things. So she's buying her own, she's getting her a new apartment. She's about to move out, getting her a new Benz. She's a full-time entrepreneur. Like she was actually paying attention, which I'm excited about.
That's incredible.
Yeah. But I say all that to say, now that I got my 3-year-old, my 4-year-old, my 5-year-old, my 2 months old, they're all different. I didn't know kids were different. Like you got to talk to them differently. You got to communicate. Like I could say one thing to one and it means nothing.
It's true.
Another one it means. So I'm literally learning how to balance fatherhood, husband, kid. Like it's tough, but I'm figuring it out though.
Do you, how do I ask this? Do you have a sense of any toxic traits you have because of what you might have lacked growing up or what you might have been overexposed to?
Toxic traits.
So are you like overly aggressive? Are you controlling?
I'm tough, man. I'm a straight shooter. You know what I mean? Like it's not focused much on feelings. I'm focused a lot on the result, especially in business. I know you talked about sometimes you just got to be cutthroat.
You got to do what you got to do, yeah.
You got to do. But I care too, but I'm trying to get a result, whether with my family, whether with our business, whether I'm trying to move things forward. But toxic traits, I don't know. I mean, my wife will probably have to answer. Like,
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure she might have something to say.
She said I'm rough though. She said it's tough being with me. You know what I mean? In terms of, we demand a lot.
So last question on this. So your dad died in prison?
Yep, in prison.
Do you have a memory of ever seeing your dad not in prison?
Never. No
My
memory.
God.
Zero memory.
My God.
Only memory I got to see him in the prison. We going to the vending machine, ordering the little stuff out of the vending machine. I have no memory. I do have a picture that my mom gave me of where we're hanging out, but I don't remember none of it. And that's why I want to be present in my children's lives now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I lost my father when I was 13. He was murdered.
Wow. Sorry to hear that.
And it's a funny thing. I mean, and 13 is such an interesting time, right? Because it's kind of the time when a boy becomes a man.
Yeah.
And so a lot of what you need to model is just not there. That's why I'm asking these questions, because then I'm like, so how did you learn what masculinity is? How did you learn how to draw boundaries?
Yeah.
And it's stuff, I don't know kind of where you sit on this, but I watch a lot of the contents on social media and I'm just like, who came up with this bullshit?
Yeah. And my mom wouldn't let me do certain things, right? Ain't no playing with dolls, ain't no walking in my shoes. It's just certain stuff that
I like your mom.
Yeah, it's just certain stuff she's just not standing by. Like, yo, you're not gonna do this. Like, so I'm doing the same thing for my children. Certain things you can't do in our household.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And
based on what I learned from her.
And you keep saying you're from West Philadelphia.
Yeah, West Philly, yeah.
Is that to say that different parts of Philadelphia have different...
Yeah, so you got West Philly, you got North Philly, you got South Philly. west, north, south.
Are they different in terms of how people experience them?
No,
and
they
live in it?
they just different ghettos.
Right.
You're just in a different ghetto. You're in the north ghetto. You in the south ghetto. You in the west. They all get now. They getting better, but 20 years. You got good parts of West Philly. I lived in the good part, and I also lived in the bad part. You got good parts of South Philly. South Philly is downtown by the stadium, but then you got bad parts of South Philly. So every part got a good and got a bad.
I'm almost done.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
What is it like being black in America?
Yeah, that's a good question. What is it like being black in America? I mean, I think being black in America, I think it's different for everybody based on where you're at, right? Where you're at,
Fair point.
you know,
Fair point.
with economics, where you like when you in the hood in the trenches, it's rough, man. You
Fair
trying to
point.
figure out how
Fair
you
point.
gonna eat. You trying to figure out how you gonna keep your lights on. You trying to figure out it's certain things you trying to figure out. I want to say it's tough because where we from, black, you don't have no mentor. Like for you, like you were like perplexed, like yo, you didn't have your dad. That crap is normal. You know what I mean? It ain't even. I can't name all the people I grew up with. Most of them didn't have no dad, like in their life, like or most households. Most households from where I grew up, you never had both parents in the house. You may have a dad, but there's not like my wife. She haven't talked to her dad in 10 years. It's not even. That crap is normal where we from.
Shit.
It's not no. So it's not when you say dead in jail like that crap is normal.
You understand the kind of intergenerational problems that causes, right?
Sure, yeah, a lot.
Because then you breed a generation that breeds a generation that thinks that's normal.
Yeah,
And so,
yeah. So and that's why you talked about something earlier about you mentioned something, but Ed Milet, I remember we had him speak at an event. He talked about every now and again there's one person that comes and changes generations.
facts.
My hopes is that's going to be me.
Facts.
That's you, and
It's good.
And I'm trying to be less of a victim and be a victor.
love
Here's
that.
how we grew up, but here's how y'all need to grow up. Like my intentions, people like, yo, bro, why you keep having all these kids? I actually got a plan. So I'm like, okay, we may have 6 or 7 kids. My goal is to have 40, 50 grandkids 40 years from now sitting at the table and remember that I did this. I put insurance on y'all. I'm like, y'all
Change
got
the trajectory.
businesses.
Like you put a trust in place.
Like I'm
I
not
get
really
that.
a great fan of Trump. Like I'm not big into politics, right? But his kids can run a country.
Facts.
Ivanka could go run a country.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be like, yo, my kid's in position to go run something.
Yeah.
And that's my responsibility to help them go do that.
That's so real. Thank you for that.
So that's what
That is real.
Yeah. So I just try not. I learned. You gonna complain about it, or you gonna do like? How long you gonna talk about? People keep talking about. Oh, my dad locked. How long are you gonna be a victim mentality? Everything wrong. Everything going wrong. How long are you? I only focus on what I can control, and look to go make the best of it.
You know, what you said is something, I live by this philosophy, right? Which is your excuses are valid.
Yeah.
And that's the problem.
Yeah, that's
The
good.
problem is that if you verbalize or write down your excuse, you're actually 100% right. You are not lying. Your experience is true. You
Yep.
actually had that experience. Life isn't fair. It's easier for somebody else. And all of those things are absolutely valid.
Yep.
And that's the problem. The problem is because they're valid, you take them to be a sentence on your life. And then you think, the rest of your life is just, this is now the trajectory that you've got to follow. It's very difficult to go, in spite of these things, I'm going to choose a different direction anyway. That's very hard. So good on you for doing that, man.
Appreciate it.
Well done.
Man. I appreciate it. I just honestly don't. It's kind of like an entrepreneurship. I've been full-time now 15, 16 years. And they're like, what's the toughest part? Well, when I got fired from my 10th job, I worked at the private airport. I said I'm mentally unemployable. So I've never looked at anything that I'm going through. Really, it's a tough time because it's a part of the process. You're going to go through some stuff that are going to challenge you. So I just want to,
One of the things I think, and I don't know if you guys have a sense of it here in the US, right? But from an outsider's perspective, one of the things I observe about the US, and set aside all the idiosyncrasies and, the various different political sides, one of the things I observe about the US is you guys, there is a culture here that it's okay to make it. And
sure.
I don't think, I'm not sure how many people are actually aware of that. That there are parts of the world where if you make it, you better make sure nobody knows.
Right.
Right. Because it's cloak and daggers coming for you.
Yep.
But here, if you make it, you stand up and go, hey, made it. Yeah. Here's my template. Yeah. And then people go, okay, cool. So how do we copy that? Now, it's not to say that society isn't perfect and there isn't jealousy, but it's like the level of permission for you to be successful is very high here.
Let me ask you that, though. So with that being said, I know in one of your videos you talked about being cutthroat, being that. How do you balance the two?
I mean, I've had to learn to be an a-hole. Yeah. It's not my nature. I'm an empath by nature.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah, but I've also learned that my role as a leader is to be unreasonable. Otherwise, what am I leading? Yeah. It's like, last night I drove past the residence where Martin Luther King stayed, right? And I was thinking about his legacy. And I happened to share the stage with Ambassador Andrew Young last year. Unbelievable human being.
Yep. I went to the mayor's ball with him. I was one of his guests.
Isn't he cool?
Yeah, amazing.
All right.
Yeah.
I called him the HNIC.
That's a legend right there.
He's a legend.
Facts, HNIC.
He's a legend.
Lamar had him up on a poster.
That's right.
At the conference.
I saw that. And
legend.
One of the things I love about him, and I don't know what your experience was, I was only backstage with him for a few minutes, but he has time for you. He looks you in the eye. He's actually listening to what you're saying. His brain is not wandering. But he said something which I thought was interesting when I met him. He said that, and it was at Bishop T.D. Jakes' conference last year in Texas. He said that MLK was ruthlessly unreasonable. He was like, this man wanted what he wanted, the way he wanted it, and he pushed all of us to make it happen. And so when we lost him,
compromising.
Right.
Yeah,
and so he was like, when we lost him, that's the spirit a lot of us kind of took on going into the rest of our lives. And I think, especially for young people watching this, it's such an important lesson to learn. You have the permission to be unreasonable. Yeah, so if you don't fit in, great. If they don't like you, great. If you're an outlier, great.
I be feeling bad sometimes. I'm like, they ain't gonna like this too much. They ain't gonna be a fan of this.
So I say to my team, I would far rather you like the person I'm making you than like me as a person.
That's good.
Ooh. Because what a lot of us in leadership do is we make being liked more important than being potent. So I'm going to push you so hard that you're going to be the best at this. I want you to like that person more than I want you to like me.
That's good.
Which means I'm willing to sacrifice you unliking me so you can like what I'm doing through you, right? And I can do it for the other person because I do it for me. I look at me in the mirror and I go, I'm going to push you to be the next best version of yourself. And this version of you is going to hate what I'm going to do to this version of you for that version of you to happen. Okay, great. Let's go.
Wow.
And that push, man, listen, we live in the best time it's ever been to be human beings. Never in the history of our species has the world had the resources, technology, money, connections we have today. It's up to us.
Yeah. It's on you.
And the people who are not doing anything with that opportunity, who are being lazy, those people are in such big number that those of us who are outliers have a lot of job to do. So I'm like, let's just get to it.
Yeah, that's fine. I got a question too. That was good. That kind of lead in there. So with you, man, you're talking to CEOs. You're looking at companies to invest in. Given your experience advising Fortune 500s and emerging African founders.
Yeah.
What is the strategic questions that you're asking them to unlock their next level?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
It's a good question. So let me tell you how I choose my clients.
I like that. Choose your clients.
I choose my clients by testing how much sameness they are suffering from.
Sameness.
Sameness.
Same thing over and over.
Same
Got
year,
it.
same results. Same. Now, what's crazy is sameness creeps in. So you can achieve a 5 to 10% growth, but still be the same. Right?
Yeah.
It's incremental. So when I look at the clients I want to work with, I go, do they suffer from sameness? Because my job is to be the shock factor, right? So your question was, what am I advising them to do?
Yep.
What are the conversations?
Yep.
The first conversation, the first very big conversation is, we have what we call an inverse possibilities conversation. So write down on a piece of paper for me all the things you think might happen. And we go through that exercise. And then I say, now let's invert that. And the reason I want us to invert that is because people think possible insofar as their realm of what they can imagine. Inverting that forces your brain to go. So he says, here's a good example. Say, your YouTube channel's at 250,000 followers. I go, write down what's possible. You go, we might double that. Yeah. I go, great. Let's invert that. Let's make that 12x. What does a 12x look like? Yeah. Okay. Now, it's not a goal, but it's a think exercise. Yeah. It's like, how do we think about it? So that's the first thing. The second thing is, a big part of my job is to communicate to my clients not where they are, but where the world is going. You know this because you work with entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs are like this, right? So they have their business, their problem, their solution, their industry. That's what they know. That's what they do. And so my job is to go, let's do this a little bit. What else is out there? Now, as entrepreneurs, you and I, we naturally do this. Naturally. Like you'll naturally follow a certain channel of social media or read a certain kind of book or be involved in a certain kind of conversation. But that's how you're wired. What a lot of us entrepreneurs don't get is that's not actually how most people are wired. Yeah. Most people shop at the same grocery store, they go to the same gym, they live in the same suburbs, they have friends with the same people they went to school with. So that test of sameness for them is not a curse, it's who they are. So when you come into their lives and you go, the reason you're not achieving these results is because you're addicted to sameness.
Wow.
And sameness is like a drug. You inject it often enough, you don't even know you're addicted to it anymore. Wow. So what happens is when the opportunity for the outlier comes, you think the opportunity is too scary and you don't want to take the risk. What you don't get is you're now being addicted to the sameness rather than going, how do I push for boundaries for next? Wow. So a big part of my job is to be the guy standing behind them, kicking them in the backside, going, you're not doing enough, you're not working hard enough, you're not pushing hard enough, you're not taking enough risks, you're not doing this enough, you're not seeing the world for what's out there. Let me just say one last thing. That's good. Every single person in the world today, shaping the world today, is not a celestial being. They didn't fall from the heavens. They're a human being. They were born and they will die. Once you understand that every single person shaping the world is a person just like you, the competitive nature in me goes, well, what's so special about Sam Altman? Yeah. Okay, he can write a bit of code. Shit, I'll learn some code. Yeah. Shit. I might even steal his code. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm that kind of guy. Yeah. And so I think that the push, and that's why I love the name of your show, right? Greatness. Yeah. It's like all of us have it. Oh, this is so good. All of us have it. Greatness is like blood. Every single human being walking the surface of the earth has blood pumping through them. Yeah. We all have greatness in us. Yeah. It manifests differently, it looks different, and it's called on in different spaces, but all of us have it. You have two jobs. First is to find where you're called to manifest it. Yep. And second, once you've found it, is to be unbelievably ruthless in how you go after it. That's good. So the folks we study...
You won't be liked, though.
I mean, listen.
I feel like you're going to lose a lot of people.
Let me tell you.
I'll be losing people because I'm demanding greatness. They like, I'm good.
Have you watched Save the Last Dance?
Yes.
Michael Jordan? Michael Jordan,
I haven't watched it in years.
Oh, man. I was watching it again the other day because I was just rewatching it.
with Mike. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. Michael Jackson. So Michael Jordan.
I'm thinking about Say the Last Dance, like the dance.
No. Michael Jordan. I said Michael Jackson. Michael Jordan, right? The documentary about him on Netflix, right? One of the things that stuck out at me is For all intent and purpose, this guy was an asshole.
Yeah.
Like if you actually watch the thing, you're like,
Yeah.
this guy,
Yeah.
he was an asshole. So people didn't like him.
Yeah.
Even his team members didn't like him. But you know what? They respected him. And they are the first to say they achieved more because they were with him
Yeah.
than they would have done when he wasn't there.
Yeah.
And so what does Scottie Pippen remember?
Yeah.
He remembers the championship ring.
Yeah.
So your point is, yeah, you know, people are going to leave you. Sure. But around me, you're going to get that championship ring.
Yeah.
My job's to take you there. So we're going to go.
That's good.
Greatness, man.
Woo.
Greatness. I'm telling you,
good.
greatness. That's the
good.
game.
All right, so I got to ask, bro, and it's so crazy. Like, it's like you're unfolding answers to questions I already have in the future or whatever. But I got to ask this. So in your book, The Magna Carta of Exponentiality,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And you got a new book, Underdogs, coming
That's
out
right.
in a few months.
That's a biggie.
I can't wait for that one.
Yeah, man.
That's going to be crazy. We'll have
5 years of work when
you come back. We'll have you back and we'll push it out there.
For sure. Thank you.
How do you balance? So we just talked about MJ, about being the best, grinding, but how we balance rapid scale while maintaining the value and culture of the organization? Because I'm trying to drive, but sometimes you only about money. You only care about money. Well, I can't pay y'all and we can't pay bills without making money.
It's a good question.
So how are you maintaining both of these simultaneously?
So I don't think you should be seeing them as competing with each other.
Yeah.
I think making. So let me put it to you this way: you guys have that drink Kool-Aid, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's like a concentrate. You put some water on it,
Yeah,
right?
and sugar.
Yeah, and sugar.
Yeah.
Right.
Powder and sugar.
I only remember it because I saw it on Friday, the movie, and you know, I think Ice Cube was looking for some Kool-Aid or something, and Big Worm came out on the thing, said, "You ain't got no sugar" or something like this, right? So, but if you think about it this way: if I want to make a glass of Kool-Aid this big or that big, the amount of concentrate would change. So would the water. So would the sugar. Culture and scale are kind of the same things. So what I'm saying is this: you have to see building and bringing the culture of the organization and the rapid scale you're trying to achieve as the same thing and not one against the other. Yeah. People will only say to you, you're chasing scale over culture if they think your culture can't accommodate scale. If it can't, it's the wrong culture. Mm. And the reason that's important is because it's like sitting somewhere in the US right now is your competitor.
Yeah.
And they've got your logo on their dashboard. They've been to your website. Yeah. They've studied everything you're doing and they're trying to figure out how they're going to outdo you. Yeah. So scale, this is so important. Scale is the most important line of defense you have. And I always think about business in sports terms, offense, defense, right? Defense is, what are the non-negotiables in the business? Everything else must be offense. Yeah. And culture has to be a part of offense because the culture of an organization evolves. The culture of what it took to build a fast-growing company 20 years ago isn't what it takes now. And so a leader's job is to be able to intuit what the right culture is that's going to suit that moment in time, and then ruthlessly make sure that they pursue it. It just came out today. I don't know if you guys saw this, that Mark Zuckerberg is paying like a ton of money for a couple of developers to come and join from OpenAI. Yeah. Why? Yeah. Like he's Zuck. You're trying to tell me he can't find other developers? What is he injecting into Meta? It's the culture that he needs for the level of scale that he needs.
Yeah.
And he's well aware that internally, he doesn't have the resourcing for that. Yeah. So he's going to go outside and pay a ton of money to people to do it. And I think that's important for entrepreneurs to understand. You have to make culture and scale one and the same things. Yeah. So we're going to scale these things together. And if one lags behind, then your job is to go and find it and make sure that you make these two things coexist. That's why, I'm sure you've seen it. Come on, guys. Like, you've seen the number of times people start in a business and a relationship or a partnership, and then over time, the partnership fades, and one person is like, I just wanted to go somewhere the other person didn't want to go. That's what I mean by like this culture thing, right? So, and it's the same in a marriage. You've seen people say, you know, we were married 20 years. What happened? We grew apart. It's exactly the same idea, that there's a point you get to where the thing we find the most value in, the thing that we think makes us who we are, changes. So the gig is always as a leader to make sure that there's consistency and congruency. Are you still going where I'm going? Are we still headed in the right direction? So when you're checking in with your leaders, especially entrepreneurs watching this, when you're checking in with your leaders, it's like, are we still on the same page? Do you still see the world the way that I see it? Here's what I'm seeing. What do you think? And the minute somebody has checked out, you can tell.
Yeah.
They just won't bring the energy to the conversations. And then you know that you need to start thinking about how do you bring in an external force to drive that culture.
Yeah. What's next for you?
Ooh, it's a good question. Some of the things I can't disclose publicly,
Yeah.
but we're busy raising capital now for our next fund, which we're very excited by.
What are the main companies you're looking to invest in? So some of our audience may be building that, or let us know.
Yeah.
I know a lot of African companies emerging.
Yeah.
It sounds like that are solving real life problems.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. So the current fund that we're raising is, real businesses in the real economy.
Yeah.
And so we're looking for entrepreneurs who are building real businesses in the real economy. So these are not necessarily businesses in the software technology space, but businesses in the kind of industries I mentioned earlier when we started. So we're very excited by that. The book comes out, Underdogs. It's already ready. We've been going kind of up and down with the publishers.
Is there a site to pre-order now?
Yeah.
Okay.
VusiThembekwayo.com.
Y'all heard that. Go pre-order, y'all.
Yeah.
Go pre-order right now.
We have a wait list of 18,000.
Let's go.
Yeah. So we drive it.
Let's go.
So I'm going to make sure I get you a signed copy.
Yeah, please do.
Underdogs is
I'll
like
put an ad in this episode.
Yeah. Underdogs is like, I'm loving what that book is going to be, because here's what I actually did in that book, my co-author and I, who also happens to be my business partner. So we went around the world studying the world's most overlooked, underloved companies.
Overlooked, underloved. Wow.
Yeah, because a lot of the literature about companies is brands we know, stuff we know.
Yep.
But then we're like, there are all these companies that people overlook, right? And the minute you know who these companies are, you're like, oh, of course they do that, or of course they do that, or of course they do that, right? And so we've been working on, and then what we did is we studied these companies and we tried to find the DNA that makes these companies tick.
Yeah.
And in the book, we basically give you the secret formula for how to build an underdog business. So the Underdogs book comes out in the next few months.
Let's go.
I'm on tour when I leave here, so I'm going to be going all over the place and speaking. We're looking at setting up a business here in the US. We have an office in Delaware, which we use for some capital raising.
Yeah.
But looks like there might be opportunities for us to do some actual on-the-ground stuff.
Let's go.
So I'm always excited to see who I can work with, who I can partner with.
Well, we here to support,
what kind of things we can do.
We're here to whatever we could do. I'm excited just about your vision and just everything you got going on, man.
Let's do it.
I just want to say thank you for coming on the show.
I am
my
ready
brother.
when you are ready.
Let's go, man. So, guys, with that being said, man, we're going to do a part 2 in the future, man. Underdogs is on the way. I want you to go pre-order it. If you're looking to put your money in the right place, I want you to look into the fund, y'all, and look into Africa. Like, maybe we're going to do a trip. We're going to maybe bring thousands of people over to Africa, and we're going to create a moment, and we're going to create something amazing. So, y'all, thank you once again for tuning in. Make sure you tap into Vusi. Follow him on all social media. Let him know your socials and everything, please.
At Vusi Thembekwayo. Can't miss it.
Yeah. Just type in VUSI. It'll come up because I know you can't spell his last
That's
name. So just type that in. And that's probably why I haven't pronounced the last name right.
You did well, though. You did well, though.
Right.
You said it
I
earlier.
didn't want to drop it. I didn't want to
good.
drop it. So, guys, thank y'all so much for tuning in. We'll see you on the next show. Peace.